Off the Wall or Thriller?
Off the Wall. Can you work with an artist that you believe is generally a terrible human being?
Because a lot of the people in the entourage, now they randomly showing up.
Now they getting credit.
They getting credit and cuts and everything because they help to cultivate a vibe.
Slim Shady exists now. Even
Hell
now.
no.
Absolutely not. Nah,
absolutely not, bro.
That shit is nothing to me. Ain't new to the ring. I son anybody who wanted with me. The stupidity. If it's I and it's you, then one of these things is losing to me. Who could it be? Will it be you? Indubitably.
Host Vader, the undisputed podcast for the independent music industry, with your hosts Clef Wonder, Jordan, and Calvin II.
What's been up though?
Everything and nothing.
Don't do that.
I am a Rooster's illusion.
Okay, amen. That's good. I've been working a bunch, auditioning a bunch. I dropped a song by the name of War, which I love. Came out really good, produced by Oat Milk. I guess I'm gonna be doing some production work with this really cool new team called We Dope. They've
well, it's produced by. Okay, I thought you said it's about oat milk.
No.
I was like, wow, what a song!
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. You think I won't write a song about oat milk? You think I'm too good? I will,
bro.
Man, let me tell you, I got 8 ideas
sold in
right
all
now.
Trader Joe's. Yeah.
Let me tell you, look, no, but the song's called War. It's doing very well. I'm very thankful for it. And again, I'm gonna be working with this really great group, international group called We Dope soon.
For sure.
So that should be good. I'm looking forward to it. They're very talented. They're very talented. What are songs that you hate that everybody else, specific songs, not genres, don't do that, but specific songs that you hate that everybody like loves and it actually almost bothers you how much people like them?
See, I'm not trying to get
No, it's just a song. It's not
because
no.
they go be.
Don't give an answer that's gonna mess you up politically.
No, it's not a political thing. It's just like you got one.
I feel like there were songs that I didn't like until they became nostalgic.
Okay.
Like I remember not liking them when they were out, but now I hear them, I'm like, hey! But it's like fraudulent because I didn't like it when it was out. I'm trying to put my finger on.
I got y'all scary. Y'all scary.
No, I'm trying to put my finger on one. Listen, I'm gonna go for it. What's the song that I be hearing that I'm like, yo, I didn't like this when it came out, but
and then it just super grew on you.
now.
But no, everybody liked it. I had one.
I definitely got one. I did not like a lot of Little John when he first came out.
Oh, that's facts. What? But specifically.
But okay, I know.
Just
I'm getting
specifically.
I'm specifically getting into like why I didn't like it because I didn't like. What is it? To the Windows?
I was gonna say Get Low. Oh my
God.
I didn't like Get Low when it was out.
Get Low. And that
y'all suck.
No, that piece.
Y'all ain't been to no good parties. Y'all ain't been to the parties I've been to.
It's like
y'all ain't been to the parties I've been to.
But you have to be at the party. So that's what I'm saying.
Yes, that's the point. It's a party song.
But when I heard it on the radio, when I heard it, and
you was in the shower when you heard it. You was like, I don't like this. I don't want this.
Like,
I'm trying to wash the sweat off my balls. I don't like this song.
Yeah, and I was like,
y'all trash.
And I knew I was like, oh, here go the Southern stuff about to pop off. I'm not liking it.
Yeah, it was mostly like that. Yeah, it was mostly like the super like snappy shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That stuff.
Like,
y'all suck.
It was. You know what?
Y'all just didn't. Y'all never went to any party.
Now I be the person snapping the hardest. Like
right now, most Little John stuff, I'm like, yeah.
I shouldn't have asked this question. I just dislike y'all more. No, but no, the song. No, this song here, I get a lot of heat on from women because like every woman I know loves this song, and I've always hated it from the first. I remember the music video. I just remember being like, I don't like this. And every other song by this artist I mostly like for the most part, but it's Adele's first like big single, which is Chasing Pavements. I hate that song. I get that people like it. I understand. I'm not saying it's a bad song.
Is that on the 19?
I just don't like it. And
I feel that way about a handful of Adele songs.
Nah, not really. I mean, most of the time she knock it out, like, you know, but that song, I'm like, I just don't get why people like it. And they're like, well, y'all like it. Like every black girl, white girl, Mexican, Spanish, anything. They love Chasing Pavements, and I'm just like, I just don't. Not that it's a bad song.
It don't resonate.
No, to me. But again, I'm not a girl, so maybe it shouldn't. But you know,
I don't really love Rolling in the Deep either, though.
I love Rolling in the Deep.
I don't do it for me.
I love Rolling in the Deep. Come on, you don't sing that. It makes you want to sing. Like it's funny to me
because
because
really helps that out.
It makes me want to like emulate her. It don't connect with my soul though.
Maybe you don't have no.
Rich Paul gonna come for you. Rich Paul gonna come for you.
No. You're good. You're good.
It's feeling a little personal now.
No, it's good. It's good. You have.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
you know,
I'm surprised.
I love trap now. You know, as far as certain artists. But I'm not gonna go into what I don't like about trap because I'm not trying to have people at me. Don't at me.
At me.
But everything. Here's the thing.
I
Until
didn't
it's
like
good,
I didn't like
feel
chasing
like
pavements.
Good music transcends like all of my prejudgments. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I could be like I don't like trap until I hear that fire ass trap song that make me like it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's my experience. When I heard it, I was like, oh. I mean, I think Migos really got me through trap. I was just like, oh, okay. I feel like there was a premium brand of trap, and then there was like a regurgitated everything brand of trap going on for a while. And I was like, not that doesn't happen in every genre of music. It just seemed like a lot of the hits that were coming out was like the same song, same feel, like to the point where you didn't have to listen to the lyrics. Yeah. But then like,
yeah, the trap isn't really for that.
I like what trap introduced.
It's an emotion.
I like when Big Sean did trap and stuff. Like when
I will say, Big Sean didn't really. He might have had trap beats, but he's not really a trap artist.
But not really. But when he did those beats, I was like, oh, this is what I like about this. So this music is not bad. I just don't really mess with those artists that much.
I like what trap introduced, like flow pattern wise. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like. And I feel like every genre gives you something to play with as an artist.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
Because you wouldn't even have that flow that what's his name? The
triplet flow?
Yeah, but what
or like the dotted flow. I fuck up, but I fuck up that flow.
I don't know. That's kind of a variant of the triplet flow. It's funny. I like that y'all said that because it made me think like, yeah, each different genre does have like what I'm not a super drill fan yet. It's coming, but I do like that they have their own flow pattern. Like it's like a break in between on every drill song and whatnot. And I kind of like that. It kind of makes you think, and then they give the punchline to it.
Right,
niggas is musically studious. I feel like at the end of the day, like everything gives me something, but it's like in terms of just me just submerging myself in a genre, it's not one that I will. Listen to like
I love some trap, but it ain't my top.
Yeah.
I make a lot of trap music too, though. But it's just like I think
every trap artist who ever worked with Clef, he hated.
No, that's the thing. The artists I work with.
That's why he asked this question.
No,
I'm stealing everybody's clients.
Right.
Not at all.
No,
I'm mad at y'all. Like
artists are cool.
I actually am mad at y'all, but it's okay.
You choose the artist you want to work with that can really pull it off. But it's not like there's some people that really get into the trap game as kind of a get rich quick, not even get rich quick, but some people treat it like, oh, this is real easy. I mean, if it is easy, then that's different. It's different when something is really classic sounding,
when it sounds authentic.
Well, it sounds authentic, but you make it easy. That's different. That's called mastery. But if you don't,
that's called mastery.
No, seriously.
No, I believe.
But when it sounds easy or it sounds
fabricated.
Yeah, I'll say if anytime somebody does something that doesn't sound authentic, then I'm not gonna like it.
Right.
Period. Right. It's like I don't really care what you do.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
I just need it to be like when I listen to trap and everything. Most of what I get from trap is motivation to do something that's challenging despite odds that you're against. So if you're a dentist and it's like you're not selling drugs, you're slanging teeth. You getting that white. You moving that white across the border.
You know what?
What? You ain't getting them veneers from Brazil?
Here.
You ain't shipping
Calvin
them boys? You ain't got it? Got it for the low, sell it for the high. That's what I'm saying. You could put it in any scenario. I just made that up. But like now Dennis is like, yes. So I'll just think about it as motivation to do something challenging in spite of odds. That's all I think about trap. I'm not actually selling drugs to the black community. I'm not gonna do it.
I think you capping, bro.
Nah,
Is that what you think about when you listen to trap?
Yeah.
I just feel really motivated.
I do. I'm not like I just put myself in that situation. Like, damn, this is challenging, but they're gonna do it anyway. Like, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not gonna actually sell drugs.
Touche.
I'm just thinking about like what weight do I move? Ooh, I'm gonna move these rolls. I'm gonna move these songs, these beats.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I get what you get for a brick to talk greasy. I'm gonna just say some slick stuff on a song, pack it up, sell it.
What's our first topic?
All right, pack it up. Yeah. We're going into our first topic. Drake Ariana Grande, Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus versus, Will Smith, Queen Latifah, Ludacris, Ice-T, that stuff.
Okay.
Question is, with the exception of Drake, Childish Gambino, Mark Wahlberg, a couple of those things, most duo threats that are black start out in music, rap predominantly, and most non-black start out as actors, So
that's interesting.
Why do you think that is, and is either path better than the other?
If you have an opinion, you can go first. But
so when you think about the hip hop genre specifically, because like the three artists you listed in terms of like black artists who became actors were hip hop artists, right? So I wonder if it's because like in our culture we qualify people by like their like authenticity and like who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like I wonder if there's like a necessary element for us of like having to connect with like that person's like humanity and perspective. And,
I could say that. I could definitely see a casting director relating to that, or just like being like, ooh, that's like, when you put images out there in film or TV, say if you're a musician and whatnot, you put those images out there, people are like, oh, wow, that reminds me of this person here. So you might get an opportunity to read for a role. And then if you're halfway decent and they know you got a fan base, they'll give you a shot. Yeah. And that, that can change your life.
I think that like the difference between, because you said Ariana and you said a couple of other people, but like I naturally went pop.
Ariana,
and I'm like, I think hip hop is like
Justin,
hip hop is a very aspirational genre in general. Like you can't be a hip hop artist if niggas don't want to be like you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there's that component of like you have to be aspirational first.
Yeah. But you might have a point there. I can see that. And one, just if you're a hip hop artist, people have to want to be like you. I definitely feel that. I don't know if the same constraints work as far as singing or R&B specifically, or pop even. It's like, I mean, you always have to be some sort of cool or likable. I don't think that it's rare that you could be like, I hate that person. I don't know. They do have some grungy, rappy things to where like, I don't know if people want to be like Danny Brown, but they like, he has a career and he's gonna make money forever because he has a following and he's from Detroit. So,
but I still don't know if I've drawn the connection between why then they become successful as actors afterwards.
It just depends. I mean,
have you noticed how much more successful they come as actors? Now, I mean, obviously the money different.
It's because we love them, though. I think that's the difference. It's like we really love them. Like they've already sold us on them to where it's like you're gonna show up to a Will Smith movie whether it got great reviews or not. At least I'll speak for myself because it's Will Smith.
But I think he's also different because he had the whole thing of Fresh Prince to really make us trust him as an actor. So we were gonna take a chance on
did we trust him as a like
Independence Day
movie
absolutely.
Actor?
And
you know what I'm saying?
We gave him a shot. I mean, I think that it kind of just shows that in how people actually showed up to the movie theater.
Well,
because that was
I'm not sure what came. I know that he decided that I was going to be a sci-fi actor because not only did they make the biggest bucks, but that's where black people went to make white people money in studio films. At least back then. Kind of still, because I mean, the Marvel paychecks is paying.
Look, man,
Zoe Saldana ain't.
I wonder, is there a connection between like also two rappers at a certain point wanting to like expand their reach and like maximize their profit?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And like doing that in TV versus like it's almost like the actors turn artists. It's more like they now want to like hone and like refine who they are and like express themselves. And you know what I'm saying? Like maybe they're like they're tired of being told what to do by directors and they're tired of like being a part of someone else's program. And so it's like, you know what I'm saying? They need to.
I would definitely say that I think the actor term musician is way less of a beaten path. It's like if you're a Disney kid, sure, you were acting. I mean, you weren't like, high level, great acting, and then you started to put in a project and whatnot. For the most part, it goes the other way, like some sort of, even Johnny Depp, musician first. People forget that. Absolutely. He was in a whole rock band.
Oh, wow.
And whatnot. And then like switched over and whatnot. And, so that's like the easiest route. Like, honestly, for me, I've thought about that. I'm an actor and a musician. And I'm like, it would be more beneficial to me if things take off musically first because you'll get offers for stuff. Now you got to turn stuff down. And that's like all you got to do is be great one time, and then like you're set.
That brings up another question, which is like, what's easier to do? Be an artist who becomes an actor, or be an actor who becomes an artist?
Yeah,
in terms of what's easier to be successful at.
I think, and that's a hard question because of one thing. Just comparatively, being an actor is easier to be a music artist. 100%, I will say that.
You think so?
Absolutely, I know so. You get paid. Or I'll give you guys this example. Person off of the street, no experience. Somebody walks up to you and says, "Hey, I want to be an actor." They can have a check in their pocket in 2 weeks and actually pay rent. If somebody walks up, no experience, say, "I want to be a musician," if they have profit, like actual profit within 2 years, they should write a book and go on a book tour. They should literally go around the country and tell musicians, "This is what I did, and you need to do the same thing."
Okay,
if you make a
financially
positive,
speaking,
well,
the startup points of an artist versus an actor,
what?
Like nothing. Yeah, it's like it's a very big
you could just
I'm living proof. I literally, my uncle / mentor totally fabricated my resume when I was 16. I had never acted a day in my life. Got me an agent. I booked my second job I ever auditioned for, and it was like that whole year was just like back to back bookings.
Me too. When I was doing, people asked because like, okay, I started acting, and I was just so hungry, and I just was like, I knew my thing to help me was I knew I didn't know anything, and so I asked every question. I went to everything. I read, did all this stuff, and so I started booking stuff. I'm going crazy, and everybody's like, "Calvin, how are you doing so well in acting?" I'm like, "Nigga, I started off in music." This is what I tell people, like, look, you say what you want about musicians, but they have their mental dexterity that you have to be a successful musician. It's like most people don't have it, and they. Like Britney Spears, better or for worse, has had more mental dexterity in her left pinky than most adults have ever had in their life. You don't make decisions that cost 1,000 people their jobs and whatnot. Like it's different and whatnot. It's a whole mental thing. And you see people, it's like clearly not easy. People be self-medicating, doing all this stuff. Now that's true for actors and musicians.
Yeah.
Like I'll say this, actor checks come big and fast.
Yeah.
Music checks they get big, but they don't come fast necessarily. I rarely get paid quick on music jobs, even when it's like the biggest companies. It's like
that's true.
So yeah, I think you can turn a profit in acting way quicker. You're right.
Yeah,
but in terms of craftsmanship, which is,
I don't know about that. That's kind of debatable. Craftsmanship, I don't know. That's probably like.
I think it's easier to be an artist because it's like it's so subjective in a way. Like there's kind of like bad acting is bad acting. There's been people who sang badly that people was like, your tone, it's just raw. It's it's like.
So hold on, which one are you saying is easier?
I'm saying that I think it's easier to be a music artist in that like it's like whatever your honest expression is could work for somebody. I don't know that the same is true in acting. I mean, craftsmanship is subjective, so it's like we could talk about it all night. But I just personally think that like somebody could really come in off the street and like have no experience in music but know how to hold a tune, and if they got like a tone and they have a perspective and it's like maybe not musically correct, it'll still penetrate. You know what I'm saying? Versus I think with acting it's harder to like bring that individuality.
I can
without
see
the
what
fundamentals. Like you kind of have to know how to act.
Yeah, okay. I can see what you're saying there. I feel like it's easier to get good at music than it is to get good at acting.
Yeah.
Because getting good at acting is going to take like years, if not a lifetime. It's like a whole thing. You really have to know yourself and understand human psychology and your psychology and how do people really get mad and how do I actually express. You have to really know yourself and know other people. Whereas music, it's just like, well, you just have to kind of learn how to perform well or better than you did last time.
And it's a feeling. You just have to learn how to like emote, but you don't even necessarily need to filter that emotion in any particular kind of way. The baseline for music is that you can't be off key. Like that's pretty much like
they can fix that.
The rule.
We have tools.
True.
we got tools.
Like if you off key, then that's like
Clef gonna get you right. You gonna get that that melodyne.
There's only so much magic in the world for some of these people.
No, some people is tone deaf, but but they got money, and so we gonna work with you.
Go to him in prayer. I was looking for one point to come out of y'all that didn't really come out yet, and I'm gonna put this on y'all. Did you realize that more of the people who start out acting that go to be musicians? Did you notice how they were mainly child stars first?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how many black child stars do you really know?
Not a lot.
Like I'm saying, we know some. But by
I guess
ratio,
the latest that have done is what, Chloe and her sister. Yeah.
So you make a good point, and it like I still have not fully developed this thought that I'm about to say. But I think that again, the difference is, to your point, like I think that like as a rapper or as an artist in general, you have to sort of like gain influence in a very organic way. Like typically speaking, if you are a popular rapper, it's because you manage to like gain the respect of your city. You know what I'm saying? Or like you manage to like really like grassroots, like connect with the people. It's very word of mouth, I think, when I think of like even Will Smith or whatever. Granted, this is I'm making assumptions because I wasn't there at the time. But like when I think of Will Smith and like blowing up as a hip hop artist in Philly, I think of like word of mouth. Like I think of like, yo, did you hear such and such a, you know what I'm saying, at such and such a party, and he was with Jazzy Jeff and they rocked the party. And like even for me, I think about going to Catholic school. I went to Catholic school growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And like for the most part, me and my friends, it was like if it was on the radio, we knew about it. We didn't know what was going on in Linda Vista. You know what I'm saying? Or who was like, you know what I'm saying? Like who was making noise like in that regard. It was kind of like if it was on Disney, we knew about it. You know what I mean?
That's for sure.
Granted, I was also specifically speaking to the examples that were given. Like, and Will Smith is someone who I specifically know the story of, you know what I'm saying? But I just feel like hip hop back in that time really was word of mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're right. Today, it's a completely different conversation.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back into it. We're going to get into the main topic, the meat and potatoes for today.
Potatoes and the meat. Let's get it.
IDFWU. I don't fuck with you. I don't fuck with you.
I don't.
Shout out to Big Sean. Detroit, Cass Tech, what's good?
CT.
Mm-hmm.
Can you work with an artist that you believe is generally a terrible human being or whose music is morally out of pocket?
How terrible?
I don't know where you get with that.
No, I mean that's the thing. Like,
what is it? Explain how. I don't have a lot of. I'm gonna say it's a fine line for me with terrible. I'm gonna be like,
terrible is a very specific word.
No. You could be like.
he got all these levels of terrible.
There's levels of terrible. Like, okay, say if you were mean to a homeless person who asked you for change, that's terrible. But is it the same as like physical assault? No. It's just like, damn, that's kind of a terrible person. Like, is it? I'm asking the question to define it. Is it just that I don't like this person, or they have some qualities? Because if you gotta like everybody you work with, you're gonna be a broke person now in the entertainment world.
Yeah, it's another art versus the artist. Conversation.
Yeah.
I hate that my mind naturally goes to what's the bag look like?
Yeah, what is the bad? How bad is bad?
Right,
what
exactly.
What are they doing?
What situation am I in currently?
Like, I've met a lot of characters out here. You have to have a line. You have to have if you can't establish where your boundaries are, like, I don't care who's in the room. If you got to walk out of a session with the biggest person here, if you're not ready to do that because of whatever morals or values you are, that's when people. Yeah, and I hate using this expression, but that's when really I think people get into specific things where they say they sold their soul. It's really they compromise themselves for $1 or for this thing and whatnot. Now, that being the case, you could have a normal job and compromise. You could be an accountant, and your boss just be like, hey, don't worry about that. But you like, I'm worried about that. Did you sell your soul, or did you just make a compromise for maybe the short-term gains of it?
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
I feel like I've ran the gamut, to be honest. Because like I remember a time where I was very rigid about like I feel like when I was first kind of discovering myself when I was like late teens, early 20s, I discovered religion. You know what I'm saying? And I remember there were actual like songs that I refused to write at that time because it didn't align with like, you know, what I currently believe to be like righteous or whatever, right? And it's like as my perspective evolved, I now look at it as like I'm proud of myself that I was able to do that and to stand strong in my beliefs, but like my perspective has evolved now, and I now look at it as like sabotaged opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have the same morals that I had at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm more informed now, and I feel like I overcorrected at a time where I was just like, fuck it, art is art, just create whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that didn't feel honest either.
Yeah.
So I just feel like you have to be like intuitive in a moment. And you have to be like, how does this feel to me right now?
Yeah.
You know, because it's very hard to like draw a hard line of, I don't believe this, It's like there's always like a nuance or like something that can be introduced that makes it not bad. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
absolutely. And it's like, are we talking about more the person or the product?
That's what I'm saying. It's either or. So it's like there are artists that's like terrible humans and put out terrible shit as well. But then there's ones that only are terrible humans.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's ones that only put out terrible shit because that's what they coin it.
Yeah.
So, because
I just don't want to be around terrible humans at this point. So, okay, so short answer, if I'm giving you a black and white answer, it is gray. But if I'm giving you a black and white answer, the answer is no. I don't want to I don't want to be around terrible people. You know what I'm saying?
We in 2022.
Yeah.
How terrible of a person is 2002 Eminem versus now?
I mean, I guess,
because the thing is, if y'all Google this right now, look at the Dr. Dre introduction speech to Eminem to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He talks about how many times he killed his, baby's mama, how many times he had sex with his actual mama, then killed her. And this was just like
that's
his
facts.
alternate persona. It's like, because he explains it like, that's Slim Shady. That ain't me. And then we've grown to know that Eminem is just not that dark of a person in real life.
That's what I'm saying.
So, and then Nicki Minaj had the
boring.
same thing when she wanted to embody the Roman thing. Like she said, she kind of got that from him. At least that's what I heard before. That, she.
Well, what I was gonna say was maybe product doesn't matter as much as human. Now that you say that, right? Because it's like if you meet with someone's humanity.
But what I'm saying is that's old.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that's old. So like that's 2002. Like
Yeah.
can Eminem be? Can Slim Shady exist now? Even
Hell
now?
no.
Absolutely not. Nah,
Absolutely not, bro.
Hell no.
Absolutely not.
Not in any means. I mean,
that would be a very fat shit.
That would be interesting.
Sonny.
I mean, I don't know. Like, and it's cool. I don't necessarily mind that. It was cool for his time. I was a huge Eminem fan. Still am. But especially when he came out, it was just like his rhyme patterns was different. He was just like able to talk about anything and just like be rude. And so it was really like, oh wow. But it was so off the wall. I was a kid. I knew it was silly. I was like, he ain't doing none of this. Because it was so over the top. It was
I didn't believe he did it.
It was slapstick. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very slapstick. It was like, okay, this guy is like, so it was funny.
You know what's funny about that, bro, is like I tend to resonate more with music that feels like if it's going to be superficial and like outrageously like, that, then I resonate with it if it's more humorous. You know what I'm saying? Like I love move, bitch, get out the way. You know what I'm saying? But like if someone is really like rapping about their life and I get a sense that like they're telling their truth and it's horrible shit, I actually have a harder time ingesting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like if somebody is actually a despicable human being and they're just like kind of talking about
That's
it.
what I mean.
Like I'll be honest, like
different than terrible.
There's certain writing rooms that I don't necessarily always enjoy being in, and it's because it's just like, all right, I'll say it like this. I realize with music and whatnot, it has the ability to like actually touch and have an effect on people and whatnot like that. And so sometimes in writing situations, damn the artists, sometimes writers are just weird human beings. Yeah. And I get that everybody is trying to sometimes even have this persona when they come in and write and everything. And so that's like a part of maybe their vibe and whatnot. And I'm a fan of vibe. Vibe is important in the studio setting. However, it's like, if everybody's coming into a setting, we don't know each other, and everybody has masks on, how are we going to get to start telling the truth if everybody's starting off with a lie? Yeah. But then I go to some pop rooms, and everybody's just having a nice time. They talk about their weekend. We eat snacks and write a song.
Yeah.
And it's just getting to it. It's like, sometimes R&B, hip-hop writing sessions, it'd be like, bro, y'all are not about, we are writing a song. You are not about to go kill nobody. You are not the hardest person ever. If you was, you ain't doing that right now. Let's just
you know why that
fun.
is though.
Why?
There's no street credit in pop music.
Man, Jesus.
I mean,
now you just open up a whole nother.
Don't at me with that. But because here's the thing,
I'm Calvin II.
I feel like that's fact, bro.
But here's the thing: there's a lot, and I don't want to get into the music, just theology of it all when it's everything is pop music because if it's popular, it's pop. I'm
I get
saying
what you're.
everybody gets to that point. I'm like,
let
let me be specific for those who already went there and already in the comments.
Like, well, pop means popular. It's like, okay.
I mean that when it comes to particular Hot 100 songs, they are part of a non-urban genre, non-country genre, and non-Latin genre if the entire song is spoken in a Latin language. So that pop. So, okay, that pop don't really have a street credit to it. So they can literally live their best lives and write whatever they want.
Yeah, they can just be artists.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I'm not actually trying to, like, I don't even like like, being from Detroit and everything, actually being around the element of danger, I don't like anything that, like, reminds me remotely of that. Like, I never found comfort in that. I never felt comfort in feeling uncomfortable or unsafe.
Right.
That was never, like, I was in a lot of situations where I felt uncomfortable or unsafe, and I was just like, this is horrible. As soon as I was able to get out, I ran, man. I was gone. If you like tragic stuff, you are not for me. I'm going to do rich people stuff that I ain't never got to do. I've only been on a couple of yachts. I need to have like 20 more to really have an opinion. That's what I'm trying to do.
Like, how much does the environment that you set matter, right? Like, for instance, like if you say you have a terrible person, but you have, you know what I'm saying? You set a vibe in your studio that's like, you know, it's zen, and maybe when they come in and like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, there are things you can do to curate a certain energy to where important. That, like, you don't bring that out.
That's really important. I'm not going to say the artist, but I will say the producer. So, producer, we all know and everything, Harmony Samuels, he'll talk about any studio session he goes in. He goes right in, even if it's not his studio, he'll go in and set a Bible right down and whatnot and get working and whatnot. And he'll, like, with his team, he'll come in and, like, pray with everybody and whatnot. And there's, like, some other artists, they might be smoking, doing whatever. But it's like he's going to have his thing and make sure that he's cultivating his vibe and whatnot. Like, because he's talented, he's going to get whatever he's done. But he's like, just because you're around something doesn't mean you have to succumb to it. So,
that part.
And so if you're sitting back, I'm not sitting back, you know, trying to be the gauge of everybody's morality or XYZ. It's not necessarily my job. If somebody brings me as a writer, my job is to write the best song that day. My job is not to be like, and really be it a good song. Now, that doesn't mean that it's always going to be something like explicit or, you know, shock jockey, but it does mean it has to be something interesting.
Yeah.
It has to be good, dope. It has to get a reaction. It has to be memorable. It has to be you know, so it has to be those things. But, you know.
I'm a renege on my answer, actually.
Go ahead.
Now, I feel like the question beneath the question is there such thing as a terrible person? Like
oh God,
inherently. And we're not talking about sociopaths and like, we're not talking about like, you know, people who are like literally like born without empathy. Like, we're talking about like, is anyone like non-reformable? Like, to where, like, to your point, Harmony, if you set an environment, if you set certain boundaries, and if you like speak to the higher part of them, they can't access it. Granted, I'm not saying that we need to write a gospel song.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying you can set an environment to where it's like you are not necessarily having to deal with the terrible aspects of a person.
Yeah, or just that thing and whatnot.
Do you believe? Here's where that exists only for me. Is if that's the only person that shows up to the studio.
Oh, like, so if they bring their entourage.
Entourage is the reason why they are that. I'm gonna keep it 100. A lot.
I don't like entourage sessions though.
Huh?
I don't like entourage sessions.
Not most people don't.
No,
but in real talk, working with artists, it's like I love the artists that I work with, but with entourages, create the beast that is the artist, because a lot of times the artist isn't as narcissistic as they are outside of that entourage.
Right.
So, but some of those people in the entourage only know the artist in that light. And if they show signs of anything else, they be like, oh, he not really about that life. Oh, she not really about that life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you have to learn in entertainment in general, like, all money ain't good money. Every job ain't for you. So if it's like too much, like, you know, I'm able to go along, get along with a whole bunch of things. But if something is just like too wild or just too like, nah, you know, I'm cool with just walking out. Like, you ain't about to like punk me into doing or being something that I'm just not. I'm here to write songs. If that's not good enough for you, please find somebody else.
I feel like, especially over the last couple of years, like I've I don't know the last time I was in a session like that.
Yeah, right.
And I'm still getting to bags. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's also about believing that there are spaces that accommodate who you are. You know what I mean? Like, I think when I first got out here, I thought I had to be in those sessions, and those were the only sessions worth being in. If anything, in my experiences, those are the sessions where you get in the smallest bag.
Let me tell you, first of all, it's going to be, because a lot of the people in the entourage, now they randomly showing up.
Now they getting credit.
They getting credit and cuts and everything because they helped to cultivate a vibe this second. They're it's this weird element and everything of like, okay, you got to do all this. I heard a songwriter and stuff say, I'm not going to say his name and whatnot. He was up for like, man, because he was talking about like bringing other writers in and whatnot. He said, like, yeah, I'm going to get a percentage of that. You know how many people I had to fight to work with this artist? Literally, he was just hanging around with them, being buddy, and now he got to like scrap to show that he's down. And it's like, bro, them pop bags or them whatever bag, those are the rooms I want to be in, where I can go and be great and be an artist, eat something, have great conversations, great relationships, go home and get a bigger bag than them other rooms when they're just like, you got to put on all these airs and do all this stuff and just play. It's like, bro, we are poets.
That part. Yeah. If I'm
and musicians, like, let's just be great. I promise you can be great without doing all that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, at the risk of sounding woo-woo.
Woo-woo? No, woo-woo. Woo-woo it up. I don't know what that means,
become the woo-woo, meaning like at the risk of sounding all ethereal and super spiritual.
Oh, no, that's who you are. Embrace it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like become the person who attracts the environments and opportunities that are aligned with you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you are a certain way, you know what I'm saying? And like, you attract certain opportunities. Like I said, I don't know the last time I got called into that session.
For real.
I'm living, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm living, I'm sustaining myself in this business. So I feel like, and that has a lot to do with the fact that I feel like I've become somebody, who attracts rooms and opportunities that like make sense to my personality.
And this is also not like, I'm not also dissing people who are in certain rooms, like at all.
Yeah, like, whatever your flavor is.
Yeah, exactly. That's the big thing. Because it's like, there's some people that would hate being in a pop room. They're like, that part. Yeah. I want to be on that club track and split my royalties with 15 other people. That's what I want. And if that's you, it's like, I'm
subtle
not.
Shade, subtle.
No, that's not. If that's you, look, it is dope to be like, you were that artist or you were the writer that was on that track. That is not an easy thing, and it's a real thing. So like, I respect it.
The ghostwriters are, the people who are putting in that work, very uncelebrated, unsung writers that's giving you hits.
That part.
But the phantom writers are the writers you do see in the room
who ain't doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
And getting them credits.
Getting credit because they the homeboy.
Writers. Not ghost writers. Phantom writers.
Like, they were there.
You heard it.
They might be like zombie writers. I don't know. Like you saw them.
You can call them. Call them whatever you want. But they and a lot of them are monetizing these situations. Yeah. They leave in this room with credit, and then they walking into Universal saying, what their contribution was, and the thing,
they leverage that for a pub deal.
Yeah, they're gonna leverage it because the thing is, money is money. Yeah, and shout out. I got people that work at Universal, no shade, but money is money. They go sign.
They like you in the rooms.
You in the rooms.
Yeah. No, that's funny. I think it might have been you that said it or something. Like, you get paid, but it's not necessarily by being a good songwriter, but being able to get in rooms.
That part.
Yeah.
Like, if you're able to get in rooms, that is more powerful than being the best songwriter ever. One thing that people forget, yes, working with others and getting in their room is cool, but also lateral, networking and working with people on your level is so important. So you can create your own rooms.
I was going to say, that's like, for me, the main sign of maturation in the industry is like when you realize that like sustainable success comes from working across.
Yes.
When you first get out here, it's, I'll speak for myself. When I first got out here, I was 18 years old. I was very much so like on the clout chase. You know what I'm saying? Just to be fully transparent.
No, we remember.
It was, I'm saying? This guy.
No, we remember.
But it was, because in
106 at Port.
But like, just in the sense of like, that makes sense, right? Like, like you want to be a part of something that's already moving, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
you want to
catch
attach
that
your
momentum.
cable to somebody else's star.
Yeah, and it's like, and you realize over time that like it's not sustainable because you like there are certain experiences and things that they've gone through that undergird where they are now and why they can sustain that, and you completely skip that process.
And so many people that you see that are doing anything, the commonality is that they have their own team. It's not just, they found a group of people or they found some people and whatnot and just were like, okay, cool, we're going to work this all together.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Like, and they're not always even the most talented, but they're the most organized. They're like, okay, there was this, and I'm not going to say this name either. There was a studio I was working at and everybody was like in the same bracket. And actually I would look around and I would tell a couple of them like, yo, we're dumb because everybody is going off and working on their own little silos, on their own little projects, but we're all meeting up at this one place. If we all just decided, yo, these people right here, any opportunities, we're going to share with each other. We're going to cultivate each other. We're going to go at this as a group and then like attack everything full force. All of us will be way further along than we currently are.
Yeah.
It's when you get out into these little groups and you want to silo and everybody get there, well, I got this connection over here, I got this connection over here, and nobody's actually bringing stuff together and realizing that the part that you're missing somebody has and the part that they're missing you got and everything like it until people get that. And it's funny because you see the same cycle of people winning who do that. But then everybody wants to just be like, well, I'm going to be, successful on my own over here. And it's just like, it doesn't work like that. You're going to come up with the people that you started with and go to that next level.
All right. We're going to wrap it up. But for me, I'm going to say what I'm going to say.
What are you going to say?
I don't find it easy for me to work with anybody that I think is a terrible person. But here's the thing. I still look at my career as first and foremost as a job. And I've never had a lot of jobs where I liked my boss. Probably I had one boss in Boston, shout out to Jim Hobbs, which is like the only boss I ever really like loved as a person. Yeah. So when it comes down to it, sometimes I do run into a lot of artists where like I don't necessarily like what they're doing, but I'm like, okay, it's a job.
It's a job.
That's facts.
Yeah, it's a job. You are a grown adult.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, actually, bro. I think it comes down to like get the job done.
Yeah,
absolutely. At the end of the day, like I was saying and everything, you are there to do a job. Yeah. Now, if it's like not just gonna be there for every type of thing, then yes.
Yeah, if it goes against like the fiber of your being, you can't sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But other than that, if it's just like I don't prefer this person's attitude or what, man, I don't gotta look. I do not have to like everybody. Everybody ain't gotta like me.
That part.
If I'm in the studio and whatnot, I'm there to write a great song. No, for real. Yeah. Oh wow, that's another thing. What if they just had a bad day?
That part.
I mean, if it's just that day.
He like, nah, I worked with them for a week. They was horrible the whole week.
I bet
don't say nobody's name. Don't mess up your brand, bro.
Name. But here's the thing. We have had a lot of sessions with artists, right? For the last 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Must be nice.
We work with an artist at a point in time that, this is a long time ago.
A long time ago.
But I'm going to just say
not recent.
It was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
It was really tough. It was really tough because the thing is, it wasn't an absolute terrible vibe. You just had this feeling the whole time that was just like, this is never going to be better than a B- situation.
Yeah.
And we've committed so much to it. If you know us, you do not know who we're talking about. Whoever you think I'm talking about, I'm not talking
this
about
person I actually know, and I know that I'm actually a little bit scared. I'm like, I hope people don't think
because people be like,
it's
he talking
nobody
about,
you guys would know
about,
at all.
This is like you're not.
Okay.
But either way,
I actually might think I know. But anyway,
no,
no matter.
You do.
But and that's not who I'm talking about. But that's what I just want to say.
Right.
That.
All I know is I'm right.
Don't know who I'm talking about. It was never the song or songs never even came out.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. That's probably why people won't know who we're talking about. It's just like there's no proof that the experience exists in the world.
So if you know, so if that's you. You know we're talking about you.
Yeah. So I think so. So can we all say that we're unanimous on like get the job done. If it kills you, you know what I'm saying, then, you know, you might have to move.
Yeah.
But like other than that, like you came here to do
like
a job.
I'll be on, and I don't mind
man.
saying this and everything, because all money ain't good money. I'm not going to be a slave to anybody, and I'm comfortable with walking away.
Yeah.
And if the situation deems it. Now that doesn't mean that like I don't like that person, or like, well, they were a little curt to me. Yeah, okay. We all got to be adults and everything, and it doesn't mean, you know, everybody's gonna like us or love us in every moment. But you know, there is a breaking point.
Yeah, and there's always more where that came from.
Yeah. Have y'all ever had any experiences like that? Have you ever walked out of a situation? Ooh, that's a good question. I got to ask y'all that. Sorry, I know we're wrapping up, but have you ever walked? I know.
The same thing. I was like, this is a whole nother segment.
I know.
You
No. But it's yes or no with a quick example.
Okay.
We're going to wrap it up with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quick game of games. Yes, no questions. One each, and then we're going to head out of here.
Okay.
Ooh.
What's yours?
That. I'll use that one. Have you ever walked out of a business situation or anything, and just like what it was without naming names if you don't feel comfortable? If you do feel comfortable, say it. But have you ever walked away from like, nah, this, like while you were engaged, like you already were booked or the session was already there and you were like, this is too much.
Yeah.
And you walked away.
Yeah, I've done that. I'm not proud to say that I've done it. Like,
no, if you needed to do it, you needed to do it.
A lot of times, but I've done it now. I got a good friend of mine, Jeeve Ducournette. A lot of people know Jeeve. You know,
it's the best. We love you,
Jeeve. Jeeve, the greatest. He definitely taught me how to walk away from a certain situation once when I was doing some stuff, and I just told him everything that happened. He was just like, "Oh, just leave it." Yeah. And because it was just that bad a situation that if you left, you would still not be the one at fault at that point. And then it's nothing to gain. Do whatever you have to do. Give them their money back if you want to. You know, and I was like,
ooh, I've done that to people.
So, you know, yeah,
I've
definitely done it on several occasions. I don't walk out on business normally, but it's like if it's
no, but we're professionals, just like they have to be professionals. I expect things from them. They have expectations of me.
Yeah. What about you?
I get that.
No, I've never walked out on paid work, but I've also never been in a situation where I like with paid work where I felt that strongly. But I've walked out on scenario, like I've definitely found escape routes in times where I was just like, I don't see any incentive here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know if that makes me the terrible person, but like
it does. It does.
I've done that, and then I've refused work. Like in advance, you know what I'm saying? Like I've had opportunities where where somebody was like, "Will you do this?" And I was like, "No," because I foresaw a situation where I would be crossing my own boundaries.
Yeah, as a when you're an entertainer, you're also an entrepreneur and an independent contractor and all these other things. Yeah. So you have to learn how to advocate for yourself. Yeah, because at the end of the day, people are gonna use, abuse, and do whatever they can get away with. You don't get what you deserve; you get what you negotiate.
That part.
So you have to advocate for yourself at all times and make sure that you know you're in the best spot possible.
Yeah.
All right. My question is gonna be, basically, would you rather be a writer that writes the greatest songs for other artists until the end of time with a very extravagant career, but you're never the artist? Or would you rather be the artist but never necessarily have the extravagant career?
My answer.
Basically.
And does it have to be one or the other? It can't be
either or. You are either a writer and not an artist with a very great career as a writer, or you are an artist and never a writer. You're only performing songs that someone else wrote for you.
I'd rather be the writer. I feel like, first and foremost, I can write to the end of time. I could be an artist to the end of time as well, but I'm just saying, like, I used to say, like, I'd rather be the artist because you can leverage your like name and your likeness for like opportunities. I could just show up at the club and make 50 grand because I showed up, you know? But like when I think about the process that I'm actually in love with, I love writing music. That's actually my favorite part of the craft. For sure. Is to be in the studio. You know what I'm saying?
Craft.
Yeah, like to be in the studio and like create something from scratch. So that resonates with like just the core of who I am, and I feel like it probably will for a long time. So I'm gonna go with writer.
Woo, man. Are we talking about? Okay, now this is I'm gonna mess y'all up with this. Is this a writer today, or like historically?
I mean, your life.
Cool. I'm gonna be an artist then, because artists today be getting that 15, 20% on songs. So I'm gonna be an artist and be okay too. Thank you for my cut.
That's fact.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for my pub.
I'm a writer.
I'm not saying it's right, but they do that.
I'll be the writer. I think. I mean,
artist.
like, given the fact that even if it's the same amount of success monetarily, or even on the charts, or even with accolades and stuff like that, it depends.
You still get to pick it. It's not like this.
It
It's not
depends
like
on where
this
you
is-
live. Like, I'm not opposed to doing other people's music. Like, I'm actually opposed to people who are opposed to doing other people's music. But I just feel like for the lifetime, if I had to be one, I wanted to lay my head down at night with the other thing.
So I'm probably flip flopping on my answer. But as a writer and whatnot, I could write a song and get money while I sleep. Whereas an artist, it's like, well, you got to get up and do it. And then there's maybe like a timeline for you to actually do that to where you're able-bodied and you actually still care. But as a writer, you could always write.
You got a question?
All right, I'm gonna give you a question.
Cool.
You just gotta say the answer, no explanation. Drop mic. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Off the wall or Thriller?
Off the wall.
Thriller.
Thriller. Come for me. I got you in the comments if you got questions.
At me.
At me.
All right, yes, sir.
Literally at us.
All right, y'all.
Post fader.
It's been an episode. It's been a podcast. It's been a journey. It's been a pleasure. It's been a lot of things.
Hey.
But it is time to go.
Hey.
Follow us on the Instagram. Follow us on YouTube, especially. Subscribe, click, like, and share.
All the things.
All of
share all of the things.
Thank it up. Thank
y'all for listening. If you made it this far, shoot, I love you.
Yeah, even if you didn't, if you made it a little bit further and whatnot, still thank you and whatnot. Oh, shout out to Florida Boy Lifestyle for this awesome shirt. They're very nice.
Shout out to
shout out Black. Shout out Black Hoodies.
Shout out Black Hoodies.
I don't even know.
Shout out Black Hoodies.
Yes, sir.
Any interest in us discussing anything that you want to hear discussed by these three gentlemen? Also add that in the comments and we will get right to it.
Amen.
All right. Peace, love, harmony, and
blessings.
Blessings.
Yes.
All right, y'all.